Hi everyone, my name is Anu Hernandez and I tell stories of healing that connect us with the heart of Jesus. Today we're going to talk about what it means to be lonely and how Jesus is somebody that can step into those places of loneliness with us, because loneliness is an epidemic right now in our world. I don't think there is a single human being that moves through life that doesn't have moments and even sometimes seasons of feeling isolated and lonely. I certainly have. There are so many days and so many times in my life in the past and in the present where I have felt lonely, and I will be sharing a little bit about that today. Let's begin by defining loneliness, and I'm going to define it in a very, very simple term, and that is loneliness is the sense of not being known. It's the feeling of nobody knows me, I'm not cared for, and so I'm alone because I am unknown. The way God created us was to have this primal need of being connected, one with Him, two with ourselves, and then with other people. Because we were designed this way, we crave that connection, we crave that intimacy, we crave to be known. And anytime there is a deficit or a lack in that, we start to sense that feeling of being lonely. First of all, I believe God created us with that heart for connection because He wanted to connect with us. Second of all, He wanted us to connect with ourselves because He put so much thought into how He designed each one of us, and He wants us to know ourselves and our framework so that along with Him we can enjoy who He created us to be. And third, God wants us to use those learned models of connection with Him and with ourselves and apply that with other people, right? Because that's the purpose of our lives on this earth. It's to transfer and transmit the love that we receive from God, permeate it through ourselves, and then give it to other people so that we can all be connected and we can have these meaningful relationships in this life that kind of mimic and mirror Him and our intimacy with Him. Anytime you want connection to grow, you are going to have an environment, both internal and external environments of safety, which is if I am here, I am not threatened or in danger, and also a sense of belonging, that I am accepted, I am wanted, not only within myself, but God wants me, I want myself, other people want me. This world, has a place for me to be in, that I can live and breathe and move in the way God has created me and fulfill the purpose of my destiny in this lifetime. Disconnection is fostered the moment there is a disruption in the primal need of our needs for safety and belonging. So anytime we feel unsafe, we feel threatened, we feel like we're in danger, anytime we feel that, we're not being accepted, that people are rejecting us, that, I'm not wanted here, I'm unwanted, or I'm a burden, these factors can trigger that disconnection and that sense of I need to remove myself in some way, whether it is physically or mentally. There's some type of disconnection that I need to create to restore that sense of feeling safe and belong somewhere, even if that sense of belonging is within myself. What happens is a lot of times is then our trauma responses and our immediate instinctive reactions get induced. And so that's where you see things like the fight and flight and the freeze and the fawn. It's like either we want to fight the situation to feel better, or we run away from it, or we shut down, or we comply and we become, pleasing to the very thing that's threatening us so that it will leave us alone. And there's a lot of ways that we react to situations that disrupt our sense of safety and belonging. Now, I do have my education in psychology, and I know that through the things that I have studied, a lot of what adults experience can be traced back to their childhood and the things that they were exposed to and the things that they went through in those early stages of understanding and learning how to form meaningful connections and build those resources that can combat that sense of being unknown and feeling lonely. This is why I think it is so important to cultivate a relationship with Jesus. We need a divine presence in our life that can supersede human capacity and our ability to provide for one another, because we are finite. There's only a certain amount of resources and provision of safety and belonging that we can give each other. And once that taps out, we then have this deficit that only Jesus can fill. He knows how he designed us. He knows our needs, and he knows what we need to live fully in the design that he has given us, and also the mandate of our destiny in this world. For me, I don't know what I would do in this world without my relationship with Jesus, because I say I am so needy with Jesus. I have so many needs that I know I cannot go to another human being because they don't have that capacity and that much of a supply of resources, of attention and affection and love and wisdom to give me. And so I have lovingly termed myself as God's little leech. And when I was younger, that was like one of the things that I told him as a term of endearment. I told him, you know what, Jesus, I'm going to call myself your little leech because I need to stick to you like a leech sticks to a human being and refuses to let go, because I need you. I need you because there are so many things that I have gone through in my life that have triggered that lack of safety and a feeling of not belonging in this world. And because of that, I struggled a lot as a young person. I struggled with not wanting to be here. I struggled with just never feeling like I fit in with other people. And over time, that can lead to a sense of hopelessness, because once you've tried different things and been in different places and you're still struggling to form that connection, right? You can start to question yourself and wonder, like, am I even supposed to be here? What am I doing here in this world? If I didn't have Jesus, I wouldn't be here today. I could tell you guys that with a 100% certainty. I would not be here today, because my loneliness would have gotten the better of me and would have completely eliminated my presence from this earth. There are many, many times when I have looked loneliness in its face and wondered whether I would ever come up from under it. I struggle too. And I've had to go to him. And that's something that I do want to share with you today, is just some things that I have processed that help me move through those moments when I feel that intense soul and life crushing sense of just being here by myself and nobody caring for me. You know, it really scares me when I look around in the world and I see an inverted illusion. And let me explain that a little bit. So I believe that, you know, when we are created, we are with Jesus, right? We're in heaven, we're with God. When he put us together, we are like intimately and intricately connected with him. And then he sends us to earth. He sends us with, you know, this purpose and this destiny, and he has this particular thing that he wants us to accomplish in this lifetime. And when we come to earth, we are handed over to people and places here that become our primary resources. Things that appear to be primary resources are not really our primary resources, but they are tangible resources that God wants us to have, so that over time, it's almost like he wants us to come to a realization and then choose that relationship with him, right? He doesn't want to force relationship on us. So he gives us these relationships on earth to mimic who he is, in the hopes that that will make us want to have a relationship with him. What can happen is, instead of us being able to reconnect with him, we get separated, right? Or we deny his existence. Or a lot of times what I see happening is we lean on our human, mortal, tangible resources as our primary source of safety and belonging. I wonder a lot how people move through life without being able to rely on God that heavily, because we were created to rely that heavily on something bigger and stronger and wiser than us. And what happens then is, if we don't have God, we end up trying to leech from everybody else because we need it from somewhere. So we're going to get it in some way, shape, or form. And the danger is when the only things that we can draw from are other human beings, because that will run out pretty soon. They say adulthood is our opportunity to finish the unfinished business of childhood. And so I think through adulthood, we are always searching. We're searching for that perfect place of safety and that perfect place of belonging. And I will tell you, the only place you can find that is with Jesus. Every other template, every other place is imperfect, and not that we're not supposed to lean on them. We are. God created us to reflect pieces of him, but none of us can reflect him in his entirety like he can. And he wants to have that direct connection with each one of us so that he can pour that into us, one-on-one. It's like having this concentrated access to, the source that wants to give you everything in your time of need. When I feel that crushing weight of I'm alone, the first thing I do is I find a place that is safe and gives me that sense of belonging. So for me, it's in my room or on my bed or in the corner of my house. Sometimes I'll go to my car and go on a drive. It's just anything that gives me that cocoon, just like a womb, right? Babies feel safe in a womb. And so that cocoon of safety, I try to find it, whatever it is. Second, I allow myself to feel the feelings of being lonely. So if I'm feeling sad, I let myself feel sad for a few moments. I say my tears are my glue, because even though they released from my body, they also hold me together. So I allow just that emotion, that emotional component of what I'm going through to kind of release itself, to express itself. Thirdly, I ask myself with God, why am I lonely? God, show me why I'm lonely. Like, where have my safety and belonging needs been endangered or triggered to where I'm feeling unsafe and like I don't belong? What's been going on in my life? So I pray, I worship, I sing. Sometimes, we don't know how to verbalize what we're feeling. And so music and, things that are reflective of communication with God is amazing to give us those words in those moments. I might watch a video of somebody who can speak to what I'm feeling. At times I will journal and have a written conversation with Jesus. I write letters to him all the time, and I have learned that is me fostering that connection. Like, I'm going to create this connection between us because I need it right now. Once I've had that time with Jesus, then I do ask him, God, is there any place that you want me to make an effort to connect to or with? If it's a friend that I need to talk to, another human being, I will reach out and ask to connect. And I know that can feel difficult, and I know that puts us in a place of vulnerability, but I have learned that God teaches us those disciplines, right? Of connecting with him, with ourselves, and then with other people as well, because that's his original intent and design for us. It's not a magic wand that takes away all my problems, but it definitely restores and replenishes those deficits and kind of calms those triggers down for me, where I feel more settled, more grounded, more connected, and it definitely reorients my perspective a lot of times. In closing, I just want to leave you with the understanding today that Jesus cares. Jesus wants to be there with you in those moments when you feel lonely. He is not going to shame you. He's not going to tell you you shouldn't be feeling lonely. He's not going to tell you to suck it up and get it together and move on. And God doesn't talk that way. And if you're hearing those types of voices, please know that it's not Jesus talking to you. It might be your own thoughts, or it might be the thoughts of the enemy. We sometimes think that God is this distant person who doesn't care about us, when in reality, He is waiting for us to connect with Him. He knows how to connect with you, and He knows that you need Him in those moments when you are feeling the way that you are feeling. I hope that you have a better sense of understanding what loneliness is and how to navigate it with Jesus. Before I go, I would like to share a resource with you. I wrote a book, and the book is called But Jesus, The Journey of a Half-Grown Human and a Divine Being. And it really captures my journey of building intimate connection with Jesus. I will leave links in the description below, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!